ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages. It's Monday night. You know what time it is. If you're here, you know. It's Nerd Sports, episode 227 this week. Uh, it's funny. We sit here for about 10, 15, 20 minutes prior to the show going live, just so we can kind of just like chat, catch up a little bit, and just kind of go over some show notes and things like that. And here we're like 10 seconds before we go live. And David's got the wrong intro video pulled up. So he's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
He got it fixed.
Exactly what happened.
So, he came through in the clutch, so I mean his clutch rating went up.
What's sad is I had everything set up to have a new placement thing where you can place the icon in different locations. So your beautiful face is actually full view now.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. And I was like looking, I was like, yeah, we're about
giving everybody motion sickness because I'm over here trying to, there we go, fix the camera. All right. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that Chrome is allowing me to use the continuity feature on my MacBook. So I'm using my phone's camera instead of using the onboard MacBook camera. So you get to see my pretty face in high definition this week. Anyways, without further ado, we are going to turn things over, albeit very briefly, to our esteemed producer, David, for this week's Weird Sport. David.
This one is we'll just let it roll. This is
Dad came to meet a 15-year-old girl. Instead, he met a heavyweight boxer. Fighting out of the red corner from Jacksonville, Florida, weighing in at 212 pounds, he is undefeated against Miles Tanner Big Red Williams. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner.
Dude's just like, I'm going to die.
At 223 pounds, Matthew the Buffalo.
All right, guys, be in the middle. Punch to the holding. Let's have a clean fight. There it is. It's over.
So, I mean, if they win the fight, do they get to go away?
It's okay. From what from what I understand, because I actually looked it up afterwards. It was basically they don't want their faces shown or anything like that. It is there's no law enforcement involved on certain cases, and they just get their ass beat.
I mean, I'm all for it, man. But
yeah,
dude, it's like that's like a drug dealer trying to go to the cops because somebody stole their money. Right?
No. There's even worse cases that the drug dealers end up, or the drug addicts doesn't get their drugs and they're called the cops because they're like, hey, they.
Well, I'm saying it's along those lines, right? Where, if the MAP, let's just call them that. He gets like completely demolished. Like you can't go to the cops and go, I want to press assault charges. Like, well, you got in the ring. So what happened? Why were you there? Oh, well, yeah, there's that. Where they go and they talk to the people that held the event, and they're like, yeah, there's some criminality going on here. Yeah, here's why he was here. Oh, really? Okay. So I mean,
cops are getting called.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Shoot, yeah, I'd paid money for that.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right. Well, this week in baseball, today was actually kind of a weird day. Trevor Story had probably one of the more unique home runs in not only Fenway Park history, but probably baseball history. The official measure tail of the tape was 301 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the shortest home runs ever. right? What happened was that he hit kind of a trailing fly ball that was going down the right field line. And it was tailing foul, right? But the way that they work it in Fenway Park is right there in the corner in right field. That Pesky's pole just kind of juts out a little bit, and it's just this weird corner. Well, the player he drifts over. The ball actually lands in his glove, then bounces out because his glove hits the foul pole, and then lands in the stands, hits a fan, and then bounces back into the field of play, right? So at the very least, you're looking at a ground rule double. So the umpires, they get together and they're conversing about this, trying to decide what they're going to do. Well, they tell Trevor Story, okay, look, it's ground rule double. So Alex Cora, the manager of the Red Sox, comes out. He's like, what's going on? So they explain it to him. So he goes, give me just a second. So because I guess they gave him the option to have his replay booth look at it. So he gets in the dugout and he tells the replay room or the video room to take a look at that. And they were like, challenge it. So they sent it to New York. New York rules it a home run. So it was the weirdest looking thing. And then the day before, Jarren Duran, outfielder for the Red Sox, absolute stud, right? It's a 3-run inside the park home run. Yes, you heard that correctly. And in the park, a 3-run inside the park home run. They measured it, right? Or they timed him. He hits it into the deepest part of the field, right? There's a triangle out there, straightaway center field. It's about 420 feet. He splits the gap on the Pittsburgh outfielders. From the time that he made contact and leaves the batter's box to the time that he crossed home plate was right at just under 10 seconds.
Jeez.
Homeboy was a lion. I would show the video, but I'm not sure what the rules would say about that. We'd probably get a strike for it because MLB would be like, no, which is fine. But if you get a chance, take a look at the video. Jarren Duran's inside the park home run, and ESPN's got a timer on it. NESN, which is the New England Sports Network, their social media accounts have a timer on it. Just under or right at 10 seconds. Dude is an absolute speedster, and it's ridiculous watching him run. It's just the sheer horsepower coming out of those legs. It's mind blowing. Right now, let's take a look at the standings. Come on, here we go. Any day, I pay for AT&T fiber, and it's like I have gig speeds, like true gig speeds, and I'm connected to my modem over here.
Mm-hmm.
And it still takes forever for the page to load. I don't get it. So right now, the Yankees and the Red Sox are in a virtual tie for second place in the division. They are both 2.5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays got walked off today against Cincinnati. It's very sad to see. The Yankees also lost today, and of course the aforementioned Red Sox. They've won 2 games in a row. They are 7-3 over their last 10. They're coming in at a 5.54 winning percentage. They're 77-62, and the Yankees are 76-61. So yeah, while the Yankees might have a 1/100th of a percentage point better, I mean it's a toss up because of the record. So. In the American League Central, the 3 teams that are still above 500 are at 500, obviously, because the Cleveland Guardians, which is the team that Boston played today, they opened up their series against the Guardians in Boston today. With their loss today, they're back to 500. Kansas City Royals are at 70 and 67 at a 511. And the Detroit Tigers are still far and away. They've got a 9-game chokehold lead on that division at 80-59. They are the first team. Actually, no, they are not the first team. They are the third team to hit 80 wins. So Detroit's going to be a scary team in the postseason. That's the theory, anyway. Houston Astros, they're struggling here as of late. They're 6-4 over their last 10. They won their game earlier today, but they've still got a 2.5-game lead over the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners have kind of hit a little bit of a slump. I wouldn't call it a slump, more like a little bit of a wall there coming down the stretch. But look for them to turn that around because they're playing in Tampa Bay tonight. They're 5-5 over their last 10 games, and both Seattle and Houston have won their last games. With Seattle winning yesterday and Houston winning today, so that's going to be a pretty tight race coming down to the finish line at the end of the regular season. The Texas Rangers are 5 games back at 71-67, which, if we're looking at the wild card for the American League. Right now, the Yankees have the first wild card spot. They're actually tied with the Red Sox again. We went over the numbers with their records, so they're in a virtual tie for the first wild card spot.
Didn't the Rangers get out? Are they Rangers out as of right now?
Well, they're not mathematically eliminated right now. The magic number stuff doesn't start coming up until with about 3 weeks to 2 weeks left in the season. So. The magic number is the number of games that the team either has to win or they have to win with the help of other teams losing in order to either clinch a playoff berth, clinch their division, or clinch the wild card. Okay. So right now, Seattle, the 3 wild card spots for the American League are New York, Boston, and Seattle in that order. If it came down to a virtual tie, I mean, we're talking record and everything between New York and Boston. Boston would get the tiebreaker on that by virtue of the season series, which goes to Boston in the way of 8-2. So they don't play each other anymore this year. So unless it's going to be in the postseason. The Texas Rangers are 2.5 games out of that final wild card spot at, again, 71-67. They're 8-2 over their last 10. They've won 5 in a row. So they may be coming on a little bit strong here at the end. I don't look for Texas to be entirely that productive down the stretch. Just because of, the injuries, the way that their pitching has been performing here as of late. Their their pitching has been making up for a lot of the shortcomings of their offense. So it's because Corey Seager, the shortstop for the Texas Rangers, earlier last week, he was put on the IL with appendicitis, and so he had to undergo an appendectomy, and he's out indefinitely. So he's probably out for the rest of the year. If the Rangers, by some stroke of luck, make the postseason via the wild card, then at that point, Corey Seager may be eligible. He may be available to come back for the postseason. But right now, if the playoffs started today, Texas would be out. So, how do
they put those standings in if that magic week isn't there yet?
Well, okay. So you always got to be mindful of, especially with about 1.5 to 2 months left in the season. Teams really have to know where they stand versus other teams around them, whether it's for the division lead or for the wild card spots, because general managers have to understand what kind of moves they need to make in order to bolster their team's chances for a deep playoff run. So, we need help in the bullpen, or we need help in the starting rotation, or we need defensive help over on first base, or whatever it is, whatever shortcomings your club has. It's the general manager's responsibility to know where you're at in the standings, where the numbers are down across the board as far as categorically are concerned, and make moves to help your club out in that way.
Yeah.
And so, it's everybody kind of looks at the standings kind of with a grain of salt for the first half of the season. But it's usually after the All-Star break, everybody really starts paying attention more and more to the standings, especially the wild card standings, with the, especially with the expanded playoff format that baseball has adopted. With 3 wild card teams per league, it really becomes more and more of an emphasis the further down the stretch that you get when you start talking about magic numbers. Really, magic numbers, they're nice to look at. It's more of a benchmark than anything else. So it really just kind of gives teams an opportunity to be able to count things down. So, but as far as the National League is concerned, let me see here. Yeah. The Philadelphia Phillies out in the National League East, they hold a 6-game lead in their division over the New York Mets. The Braves, the Marlins, Braves, and the Nationals in that order fill out the rest of that division. In the Central, by far and away, the hottest team on the planet right now are the Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, they have lost 2 in a row. They've lost. They've only won 4 out of their last. They're 4-6 over their last 10. But they're at 85 and 54, so they've got a 5.5 game lead in their division. They can still choke that division away. I just doubt that it's going to happen. Chicago is coming up, 5.5 games in arrears to them at 79 and 59. They're 6-4 over their last 10, and they've won. They won their last game. They won their game today. They're hosting Atlanta for, I think it's a 3-game set. Cincinnati, they're at 70 and 68. They're at 507, and they're 14.5 games back. They're hopes for the division right now. They're probably just chasing the wild card. So we'll take a look at the National League standings for the wild card here in just a minute. But out in the West Coast, you got the Dodgers still holding a 2-game lead over the San Diego Padres, with the Giants coming up in third at 9.5 games back. The Dodgers are 6-4 over their last 10. The Padres are 5-5. The Giants are 8-2 over their last 10 games. But I think that their only saving grace right now is that they're playing Colorado, and Colorado, they're well on their way to 100+. I would probably be willing to wager the fact that they're going to be at a minimum at 110 game loss season. So right now they're at 39 and 99. 39.5 games out. It's safe to say that they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but they don't like putting those things out there. It's really kind of a demoralizing thing. Me personally, I don't care, but it's just funny to see. But in the National League wild card, the Cubs hold the first wild card slot. The Padres are 2.5 games back of them, holding the second spot. The New York Mets are holding the final spot in the National League wild card standings, and the Cincinnati Reds are only 4 games out. So while the division for them is probably and most realistically out of reach, with them being 3-7 over their last 10, they've won their last 2 games, including the walk-off against Toronto today. It's not outside the realm of the impossible for them to make up some ground on the Mets. The Mets are, unfortunately, they beat the Tigers today, and they're in Detroit. But with Detroit playing the kind of baseball that they have been playing, I look for that 4-game lead to potentially slim itself down by week's end, or if even anything before the middle of the week. But that's going to all depend again on Cincinnati bringing their A game to the ballpark every day against Toronto. So, and Toronto, in the American League East, they've held first place in that division for most of the year, and they're kind of, I would say, the breakout surprise in the American League. But that title goes to Detroit. But I don't know. With the moves that Toronto was making over the offseason, and plus what they made at the trade deadline, it's not surprising that they're a strong ball club. I just, by virtue of the fact that they play in Toronto and they're in the same division as my Red Sox, I want to see them fail miserably. I want to see the barn burn to the ground. But yeah, it's been a pretty quirky little week for baseball, just in general. Fun games to watch. And it's just, I don't know, it's going to be fun. It's cool to watch these stories and these storylines develop the closer we get to the end of the regular season, because you really start to see which teams are going to flesh themselves out, which teams are going to have a shot at having a prolonged presence in the postseason. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but again, it's something it's just fun, just all in general to see and really kind of keep track of. So
yeah.
But moving forward in football news, we are going to talk about the overly large-sized elephant in the room.
Yeah. People deciding to get married on Saturday or Sunday during
No. That's not what I'm talking about.
That's a blasphemy anyways.
Well, that's college football. We'll talk about that on Wednesday.
No, it's
right.
both. I mean, think about it. I mean,
well,
no one's going to pay attention.
Well, the first weekend of the NFL does have Saturday games, but Saturdays for the boys. The same, right? But the biggest shock that caused small acts of arson in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which caused outrage on Dallas sports radio, which caused people to, I don't know, put in applications for new teams to root for. I mean, it's gotten that bad, but the Dallas Cowboys traded Micah Parsons over the week last week.
Okay. On that, I'm glad you brought that up. Here's the thing about that. Everybody's blaming Jerry Jones. Everybody's going out. Oh, the Cowboy. Jerry Jones is doing it again to the Cowboys. He wanted to keep him. He was about to pay him a big amount. And then even Micah, he wanted to play for the Cowboys and get that good amount. You know?
Yeah. I know. I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. Trust me, I am getting to that.
Who is his agent, and why hasn't he been dropped?
Well, you know how we don't try to we don't name names whenever we have somebody that goes and decides to shoot up a school, a school, because they're not worth mentioning. We don't want to give them that energy. I'm treating Micah Parsons' agent with the same kind of
I like how that's the analysis. That's the comparison.
Yeah, that's the comparison. That's what I'm going with.
Did anybody? Okay, here's another question, and I've tried to find this, and I haven't found it, and I am surprised it didn't happen that way. Is people leaving coffins out at the Jerry Jones's world?
I
am surprised.
Being a week removed, because this trade went down on the 28th. So, yeah. I mean, it's only been a few days.
I mean,
okay, so we're almost a complete week removed from the trade. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm all right. So I'm looking at it, and your knee-jerk reaction is to go, what the hell is Jerry thinking? Right. He treats the team like a business. He doesn't treat it like a team. He's not interested in winning championships anymore. The only thing he looks forward to is inking his next Netflix streaming special, right?
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, the man now has his name attached to his own building now. It's Jones AT&T Center, right? Or stadium. And you just kind of look at it and you're like, all right, well, is he going to have another cameo in Landman season 2? I mean, what's going on here? Where is his priorities? And everybody wants to be in an outrage, like Jerry Jones needs to go sell the team, and it's easy to sit back and look at things through that prism, where it's like, okay, Jerry Jones is the patsy. He's the scapegoat. We're going to throw him under the bus, and we're going to back up a couple 100 times, like Taylor Swift did to Blake Lively. You know, it's one of those deals.
Yeah.
Now, but the Cowboys trading, an all-pro edge rusher to Green Bay in exchange for a compensation package of a 2026 and 2027 first-round draft picks, and they get 3-time Pro Bowler Kenny Clark from the Packers. Now, Kenny Clark is no slouch.
No,
He's not a Micah Parsons. No. He may stay healthier than Micah Parsons, but
that's another thing that I was happy about that trade was the fact. Oh, we got a comment. Hold on.
Hey, Maria. But yeah, no, it's the thing that I like about the trade package is the fact that they got 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
For next year, and one for next year, and then the one for the year following.
Yeah.
Now here's the deal. That means that Dallas has potentially, at the minimum, 2 first-round draft picks for the next 2 years. That's great, but you have to have a front office that is willing to take a chance and make the moves necessary to pick well. Because not every first-round draft pick is guaranteed to flesh themselves out in the NFL.
This
point, you look at Vince Young, okay? Yeah. You look at Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
You look at a majority of the quarterbacks that were taken in the first round that went to places like Cleveland or the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. They're no longer in the league, okay? Now, this is where it goes back to what's Jerry going to let his front office do? Because Jerry, most teams, it's the head coach and the general manager that makes that phone call. Nay, not with the Dallas Cowboys. It's Jerry Jones. He wants to be the first voice that you hear, right? Which in its own right, I guess it's kind of cool, but at the end of the day, I think that without throwing Jerry Jones completely under the bus, I think that he can't see the forest for the trees. He's so self-involved and kind of out of touch, I would say at this point, that he really doesn't see the speed bump that he is to his own team.
Well, okay, listen to the
picture.
Yeah,
he does. He doesn't think big picture. Absolutely, that's correct. And so
here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Because I was kind of wondering this on the draft data. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is only from 2004 to 2018. So there's probably many, many more. That percentage for the draft players considered a bust? 22.3%. That's pretty damn high.
Yeah. Now, okay, so take this into consideration, right? Okay, so like in the Army, you've got in the infantry, you have a thing called the EIB, or the Expert Infantry Badge. Mm-hmm. Generally, units test for this once a year, and it's over your basic and intermediate to advanced infantry skills. Calling, shifting fire from known point, movement under individual fire, or individual movement under direct fire, calling for fire, land navigation both day and night, just basic stuff. First aid, threat weapon identification, landmines, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
The attrition rate on that on a yearly basis is somewhere to the tune of anywhere from 75 to 86%.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now, I've got my EIB. I was blessed to, earn mine with 2 of the greatest people that I've ever had the pleasure of serving with. But it's the same deal with, you get thousands of people, thousands of players every year playing collegiate ball, right? Only a handful of them get drafted, and only a handful of those stay around. and even a smaller percentage of them get the big contracts, and an even smaller percentage of that get to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So most people would look at that and be like, okay, well, then what's the point? I mean, it doesn't prevent people from going out there and trying. It's what makes these industries, you know, whether it be baseball, hockey, basketball, football, curling, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, throw curling in there.
Yeah. Could you imagine if there was a curling draft?
Oh man, I mean, you want to talk about like they'd be they'd be like, okay, what is the ratio from a knee angle or knee bending angle to gut size proportion? What is the maximum that we can go without you know, it's like,
well, what about
Major League Curling, you know?
What about the sweepers?
Oh, the sweepers. Oh, those are the
dude.
Those are the let's see, what are we at? 30. Okay, so we're past the time. Those are the fuckboy fit guys that have to be on the, you know, on the brooms. You know, like, but I love the fact that curling was invented by a bunch of guys sitting around a bar watching the Olympics, going, you know what, we can do better than this. They just come up with a game.
It was probably the same people that had decided, or that one person's like, you know what, I want to be an Olympic champion. Let's do a brink dance competition.
Right. What's her name? Reagan or whatever.
Yeah, I'm the best break dancer. We're gonna do this, and just, I mean, they don't even show it on Peacock. It's not, you can't find that video on Peacock.
No, I think NBC, with the exception of the clips that are out there on people's hard drives, I think NBC did a pretty thorough job of scrubbing that from the internet.
Oh yeah, but, we got canceled because of it.
Yeah. But I mean,
I literally tried to figure out,
getting to the point about Micah Parsons' agent. Okay,
yeah.
This is the problem that I have with agents, you know, whether they be Scott Boras or, you know, whomever. A lot of times they do not look out for the better interest or the desires of their client. Yeah. Micah Parsons expressed interest. I want to stay in Dallas.
Yeah.
He never heard about Jerry Jones's offer because the agent didn't give him that information.
Well, it's like the what we talked about.
It's like with Freddie Freeman. The Freddie Freeman trade, whenever he was free agent signing, whenever he went to the Dodgers from the Braves, right? Longtime staple in the Braves organization, holding the fort down over there at first base, right? He recorded the last out in the 2022 World Series against the Astros. Okay. He got this monster deal from the Dodgers. It wasn't until after the ink had already dried on that contract that the Braves front office was like, we gave him that offer. We gave him the same offer, but he turned it down. No, Freddie Freeman was asked about it, and he goes, what? I didn't turn anything down. They didn't give me anything. They were like, yeah, well, they said this. And he goes, I never got that information from my agent. He fired his agent that day.
Oh yeah, I would too.
He went out and got himself a new agent.
Well, it's the same thing that we talked about last week with college players, and they don't get to go to a college team because of the parents.
Well, with the NIL rules being what they are now, I think parental guidance kind of goes out the window. Yeah. If a booster or if a school is willing to pay a kid X amount of dollars to come play ball for them, I mean, through the portal or whatever. I mean, the transfer portal has transformed college or collegiate sports as we know it. Whether it's for the better or not, it depends on it depends on how your school performs in the portal, kind of a thing. So,
yeah.
But when he got to Green Bay, I mean, he hadn't been on the ground for more than 20 minutes, and he was already sitting down at a desk signing a 4-year, $188 million deal with $136 million guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history at $47 million per year. Now, here's the thing.
He was getting like,
Wisconsin has a state income tax, unlike Texas. So at the end of the year, Micah Parsons is only bringing home, I think they said roughly about 24 to 27 million. So he's making less than half of
that's
that
still a good
contract.
chunk of change if you.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
It is. Do not get me wrong. I am the firm belief that there's nobody on the face of this planet that is worth more than, I'll just say 30 million a year. Okay.
Yeah. And we already talked about this too. It actually defers to each place that you go to.
Yeah. Now, the reason why Texas teams, Florida teams are highly coveted, places like Tennessee, the Titans, and the Nashville SaberCats, right? Their hockey team, the Memphis Grizzlies. Tennessee doesn't have a state income tax like Texas. Florida doesn't have one either. So what you make on those contracts, what you sign for on those contracts, minus your federal income taxes, that's what you're getting paid. And so that's why these places like Houston, places like Dallas, San Antonio, those are preferred destination places for a lot of athletes if they can get the contract that they want. But with that same kind of offer from Dallas, he'd be making 74% of that contract after taxes. So I'm just like, okay, good luck to Micah Parsons. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times, it just takes a change of venue for a player. And Micah Parsons really wasn't having a down year. I mean, yeah, his sacks were down last year, but the defense wasn't able to stay on the field, right? Well, no, that's the problem. They were staying on the field, but Micah Parsons was getting double teamed a lot last year, and the Dallas offense was not providing. They were not providing the length of the field for the Dallas defense to play with at all. I mean, they weren't giving them any kind of, they had them backed into a corner. I think for the majority of the year last year, the Dallas defense started on the minus side of the 50-yard line, being their own side of the 50-yard line. But let me see here. Parsons passed a physical to complete last week's blockbuster trade and participated in practice Monday. Both the Cowboys and noted orthopedic spine surgeon Dr. Robert Watkins confirmed the diagnosis. Parsons will continue physical therapy in Green Bay, but he was noted he had a facet joint sprain, and he may be able to play Sunday versus the Lions as long as he gets an epidural. So I'm like, okay, he's hurt at this point, but it's nothing that's like catastrophic. He's dealing with an L4, L5 facet joint sprain, so it's a spinal injury. I think maybe like a bulging disc or something, basically along those lines. But I mean, do a nerve block or an epidural, and dude will be squared away. They asked Dak Prescott about what his thoughts on the trade were, and he was very careful about his wording. He was very careful to not say that the team was better off after the trade. But he didn't say that they were worse off either. So he was basically Switzerland in his comments. So it's going to be a cold day in hell before I start to acquiesce on my position that Dak Prescott is one of the highest paid, overrated quarterbacks in NFL history.
And
so, do I now?
That meme you sent us in the Anger Me thread, that was awesome.
So yeah, I'm just like, oh, come on, man. And even along, my wife, huge Dak fan, right? Like loves the Cowboys. She loves the Cowboys. And I brought up the Parsons trade. She's like, what? I was like, yeah. And I was like, Parsons wasn't the problem, and Jerry Jones is most of the problem. But the biggest problem with the Cowboys on the field is Mr. Interception, Dak Prescott. And she was like, yeah. So she goes, and I'm a Dak fan, and I was like, yeah, okay. So there you go. But I don't know. It's gonna be a cool season to watch. Like I said, the first game is gonna be this Thursday. I know, and if Chris was going to be present tonight, I was going to say, hey, let's go over our picks one more time, just to kind of run through them, see, to give everybody a last minute chance to kind of revise their picks. But I don't know. I feel comfortable with where I'm at. I think that the Cowboys are going to get, dude. It's going to be at least a 14-point spread. The Eagles are going to just beat them down. I'm not saying that the Cowboys are going to get shut out. They're not, but they are not going to. Their defense is not going to be able to stop Philadelphia.
After this weekend with the college games, and I know it's college games. Okay, you can berate me about that stuff all you fucking want. Here's the thing. I'm
not going to berate you. I'm not. No.
I don't know about this NFL season. I think something happened, and it switched when the sport started, and everybody's predictions are put on the wall. Someone like the whole Harambe. We went on a horrible timeline, and then someone killed Happy the squirrel or Pepper?
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's what I think. Okay. We're going to get a completely just off the wall, out of left field Cinderella story this year. And it's not going to be because some undeserving, zoo animal was killed. It's going to be because Travis and Taylor are engaged.
That might have been it.
Yeah, that's going to be the shift that the universe needed to just throw everybody's NFL seasons out the window.
I mean, that's what I was hoping for. I'm kind of hoping the Cinderella story this season. That you don't.
If those two manage to get divorced, right? Can you imagine how fire that album's going to be?
No. Okay, think about this, man. And I was thinking about this up at work. What if Taylor Swift and Kelsey do the prenup, because some of that higher profile and everything.
Oh yeah,
prenup, and in the prenup, Kelsey goes out and, hey, you can't make one song about this breakup.
Yeah, but it's got to be after so many years, right? Like the general standard is no, hold on. The general standard is 10 years. You have to be in the relationship for a minimum of 10 years before he can expect a payout. And if he goes longer than 10 years or makes it to that 10-year mark, she is legally unable to write songs about their breakup.
That'd be funny if like the day hits, the mark, the day that she can't do it. That day is when he breaks up with her.
No, I mean, all joking aside, I'm like, okay. Here's the thing. All right. Shut up. Chris the Mountain Man Jacka, he's found him a good woman. I found myself a good woman. David, there's hope for you.
There's hope, but there's also legal precedents that you have to notify all the police departments in the area. Sheriff's Department.
Anyways, I'm trying to be serious with you here.
I got you.
Okay. At this point,
my record.
I'm being your boy now, right?
Yeah.
I'm in your corner. I'm rooting for you, dude. But with as jacked up as this world is, I don't care if Taylor Swift is somehow the head of the satanic church. I don't care. Okay. I don't care if there's like some voodoo magic going on in the background. Don't really care. These two people found each other and they were like, yeah, you're my person and I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life. I hope it works out for them. I really, really do.
It seems genuine.
It does. I just don't want to see her face 700 times during the course of a Chiefs broadcast.
Which, funny you mentioned that. Belichick's girlfriend is nowhere near the field, so there goes our bet.
Hey, I took the under.
Well, I'm a gambling man, and I go out, and
you took the over.
Oh, fuck yeah, I would take the over.
I don't know.
Because I want that W, and I want those monies.
Yeah.
They pan. I mean, they always pan over to the coach and everything, but she's nowhere on the field, so I don't.
Yeah. So
well, I did see like a baby carriage, so I think that's the future one.
The Kansas City Los Angeles Chargers game. That's this year's international game. It's going to be in Sao Paulo, Brazil, at the Arena Corinthians. So yeah, if you remember last year's game when it was the Eagles and I think it was the Giants, or no, it was the Packers and the Eagles. I think it was.
Yeah.
There's kind of that rule in Brazil that the only team that can wear green is the Brazilian national soccer team.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, they've got that covered this year, red and blue. So, we'll just see if Travis Kelce or Patrick Mahomes comes firing out of the gate this year with an Achilles tear because the turf is just absolute shit down there in Brazil.
Okay. Have you watched some of the clips with the Taylor Swift on Kelsey's?
Yeah, on the New Heights podcast. Yeah, I actually subscribed.
I just love how surprised she was. It's like, Jason, whose kid is that?
Yeah, well, because it was at the Buffalo game or the AFC Championship game against Buffalo. Jason was just absolutely hammered out of his mind. He's calling his wife. He's like, so I want to jump through one of these tables. And she's like, let's not do that. Right. Apparently Taylor loves that line and the way that his wife delivers it
to her kids.
Yeah. Well,
hilarious.
Then he jumps out of the suite down into the stands and he's like, this random little girl's like, you want to meet Taylor? She's like, yeah. So here you go. And just hands Taylor this random little girl. But yeah, no, it's a content wise and the way that they kind of work their timing. It's actually a really well put together show,
dude. Yeah, that and his, because he was on his wife's show. Jason Kelce was on his wife's show, and they were talking like just family stuff. Honestly, I hate to say this, but I started watching only because, not because they're popular, they're genuine.
Yeah.
And that
and the amount of love that those brothers have for each other is off the charts.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost guaranteed that anytime they kind of do any kind of like background piece on either one of them, you're guaranteed you're going to see Travis tear up. He's talking about his brother. One for Jason.
Dude, have you seen their garage beer commercial?
Yeah.
Dude.
I think here, I don't know. I'm wanting to try it, so probably going to pick me up a 6-pack or something like that here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm over the hype of celebrity
alcohol. Yeah. Well, the only one that I'm really going to like die on that hill is George Strait's Gotta Go tequila, bro, dude. That is dangerously smooth. I would even put that above Patron. I know that says a lot, especially with Maria watching. She knows how I feel about Patron. So, Colin, you got your stuff ready?
Yep.
Okay. Without further ado.
Rising from the smoke and haze of desolation comes a Spartan. He is bent on wronging that which has been set right. It's the greatest genetic code ever to exist here for your ears and eyes to feast upon. Spartan Colin, I hope you're bringing the smoke tonight. Someone get me a joke.
What do you call a can of tuna in a lesbian's back pocket?
Oh God.
Dip.
Oh my gosh. Dip.
Oh,
Because of the ring.
yeah.
Okay.
What do you call, or not, what do you call it? What did one lesbian frog say to the other?
What?
Wow, we do taste like chicken.
Oh. I've heard that before. And the blasphemy comment from Maria's in reference to the the Patron comment that I made. And that's because she used to work for Patron. So yeah.
Oh, right. Did you see Texas new laws?
That's Friday material, sir.
No. Hear me out, okay? One of the laws is they're gonna stop like the round hay bales. They're gonna get rid of them. And you're not allowed to use the round hay bales anymore to feed cattle.
Okay, I'll bite. Why?
Because they want their cattle to have 3 square meals a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That joke brought on like just a whole.
You could have let us roll the outro and then
that joke. That joke just brought the whole show down to a whole new demographic.
Okay.
I would almost make Colin find another joke just so we can end on a high note.
Oh, okay.
Right? And Maria's like, you interrupted Colin. Yes, ma'am. He sure did.
Okay.
I'm
What are we doing
just interested to see if David's going to backtrack faster than Cracker Barrel did.
No. Get us out of here.
Well,
I love that so much. I love like how just like nope. No.
No.
Let's keep this going.
I know we're working on it. Dead air is never a good thing, Colin.
Yeah, no, you tell me to grab a new joke. I didn't have a third one ready.
Okay, fine.
Slipping out through the fog of war, this Spartan continues the fight. Your souls have become collateral damage in the battle against the flood of moral supremacy. Leave your expectations at the door and marvel before the pillar of tactical prowess. Ladies and gentlemen, angry faithful of all ages, this has been Joke Time with Colin.
Okay, so over the weekend, the major touring series for NASCAR was split. You had the trucks and the Cup guys in Darlington this weekend, and you had the Xfinity guys at Portland International Raceway, which is the end of their regular season. Now, if you'll remember, the driver of the number 88 car for Junior Motorsports, Connor Zilisch, broke his collarbone a couple of weeks ago at Watkins Glen, getting out of the car to celebrate in Victory Lane. He started the race the following week at Daytona, got out of the car. Parker Kligerman gets in the car, 90-second turnaround, and wins the race. Connor Zilic is like, I've got a whole extra week to heal. I'm going to race the entire race at Portland. He does. He starts the race on the pole. Goes out, wins the pole for that race. Wins the damn race with a broken collarbone, and it's a road course.
Oh, wow.
Not only did he win the race, he won the race by 1.572 seconds. He led 70 laps, and he led 70 of the 78 laps. So almost wire to wire. But he also clocked the fastest lap of the race at 74.55 seconds.
Oh, nice.
That gives him 8 wins on the year. Junior Motorsports has a total of 15 wins on the year. That is huge for him going into the playoffs. That is insane, right? I'm like, I told myself I was going to watch that race, so I wanted to see how it was going to end. And then jokingly told myself when I realized that I missed the beginning of the race, I was like, it doesn't matter. Connor Zilic is probably going to win anyway. I go to check the results after the race is over, and fucking Connor Zilic won. I was like, damn. I mean, it's scary how good this kid is, and I hope that it's not a one-off. I mean, I expect him to not go out and like burn the building down when he goes cup racing next year. But I do expect him to have a moderate amount of success. But I'm just like, good God. But going into Darlington last night, it was the Southern Cookout, or the Cookout Southern 500, which is a crown jewel event for NASCAR. It's one of the vintage races going all the way back to almost the creation of the series. Chase Briscoe started second. Denny Hamlin was on the pole, but Chase Briscoe drives the number 19 Bass Pro Shops Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. This dude, when he got out into clean air, out of the 367 laps that this race lasted, he led 309 laps. He was out front for most of the day. His margin of win was less than a half a second. It was 0.408. That's nuts, right? I mean, there was a crash on lap 1 of the race. Lap 1. They didn't even get a full lap in. Josh Berry, who drives a 21 Ford for the Wood Brothers, spun. He just got loose coming out of turn 4 and back, just tore his car up, right? The race wasn't over for him. He goes to the garage under the damaged vehicle policy. He was allowed to allowed to repair the car. Mm-hmm. He only completed 239 laps officially. And it's not like, I mean, they must have done some kind of like voodoo magic on that car, because when he got back out on the track, he logged the fastest lap of the race at 29.04 seconds.
Nice.
Insane. It was a Toyota showing last night, honestly. It was just unreal. The highest finishing Chevrolet, or non-Toyota, was a Chevrolet, and that was AJ Allmendinger coming home 5th. The next highest was Kyle Busch in the number 8 Chevy for Richard Childress Racing. He actually had an 8th place finish. That was a top 10 for him. Probably one of the better finishes that he had. And he did not have a scrape-free night. I mean, he was involved in a couple of wrecks, avoided a lot of major damage, and just kind of through pit strategies at the end of the race found himself in the top 10. And, not necessarily had a chance to win, but it was a pretty impressive showing for him. But your top 10, your top 4 cars were all Toyotas. You had Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, which at the end, Tyler Reddick almost caught Chase Briscoe. He just overdrove the car a little bit, and I think he used up the tires, and he was holding Eric Jones off, who has already won 2 Southern 500s for Legacy Motor Club. I mean, Eric Jones is a non-playoff driver, but Chase Briscoe advances to the round of 12 by virtue of the win, so he locks himself into the next round. Tyler Reddick, he's a playoff driver. John Hunter Nemechek also drives for Legacy Motor Club, which is Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson's race team. He came home 4th, which that's an amazing showing for him. Like I said, AJ Allmendinger, the highest placing non-Toyota, being a Chevrolet, comes home 5th. Then you had Bubba Wallace in 6th, Denny Hamlin in 7th, Kyle Busch 8th, Carson Hocevar 9th. Okay.
What's up?
But Kyle Busch 8th, Carson Hocevar 9th. Carson Hocevar, he spun a couple of times. I mean, put his car in the wall. Dude had a rough night, right? But he came home 9th, which is amazing. And then you had your highest placing Ford, which is Chris Buescher from Prosper, Texas, and the number 17 Ford. He comes home 10th. You got Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Zane Smith, Noah Gregson, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece, Chase Elliott's your highest finishing Hendrick Motorsports driver. They didn't have a good night. I mean, Kyle Larson was there for majority of the night up front. He was running top 5, top 3. I think he was high as 2nd at one point, and he just faded at the end of the night. Right there at the end, I think he just used up the tires trying to make up ground, or just the handling on the car went away. But he comes home. Or Chase Elliott 17th, Ryan Blaney 18th, Kyle Larson 19th. Joey Logano rounds out your top 20. 21st was William Byron. In 21st, Ty Gibbs, Austin Dillon, Cole Custer, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, Justin Haley, Riley Herbst, Christopher Bell, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. round out your top 30. Alex Bowman comes home 31st. Now, boy, he was 2 laps down. He had a rough night. They got 2 laps down, and through pit strategy and taking the wave around, stuff like that during caution laps, he'd actually made up both laps at one point and was on the lead lap. Comes in off sequence, which means he was pitting before everybody else, which generally would have worked. But for whatever reason, Alex Bowman's pit crew shit the bed. They gave him a 40-second pit stop, which by comparison, you look at a normal pit stop that goes anywhere from 12 to 14 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
even then, it's just, I mean,
here's what happened.
8 seconds usually.
The rear tire changer, the hose on his gun came unplugged, and then communication just absolutely broke down. When they realized, when one of the guys behind the wall realized that the gun had come unplugged, he plugs it back in. He gives the thumbs up. Somebody else interprets that as the other gun is ready. So instead of taking the gun that is now charged and working and changing out that rear tire, they waste another 10 seconds trying to swap out hoses and get the gun connected to that hose. All that shit should be triple checked before pit stops are even talked about, right? Yeah. That's all pit crews do. They stand there, they're testing their equipment, and they've got a lug nut on a dummy stud or a dummy lug, where they're just for repetition, right? Muscle memory. And they're checking pressures, they're making sure that everybody knows their job, what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah. I mean, it's an orchestrated deal. I mean, it's one fluid thing. And communication just absolutely broke down on that pit stop. And it cost him 2 laps. He never recovered from that. He finished, like I said, 31st. Shane Van Gisbergen, who, by virtue of the road courses, has 4 wins this year. He was one of the top seeded drivers coming into the playoffs. The car unloaded slow from on the truck. They couldn't get the handling right. I mean, they were taking big swings at the handling setup, trying to get the car right, trying to get it to make good speed. And it just would not work for him. And and Shane Van Gisbergen going into the race, he's like, Dover's one of my favorite tracks. And he said he loves running there. But they couldn't get it together. So he brought that home 2 laps down in 32nd. Then Michael McDowell, 33rd. Ty Dillon, 34th. Timmy Hill, Derek Kraus. Derek Kraus's car caught fucking fire mid-race. I think the engine was starting to grenade a little bit on him.
Wow.
And enough fluids got out and started hitting, parts that were at temperature, and things started flaring up.
Yeah,
I'm wrapping this up. Yeah.
No. I did that once. I didn't tighten the. I had a 78 Impala, and it still had that little fuel filter that was connected to the carburetor, and I didn't tighten it down enough. Luckily, it was my mom that was driving, and the car inflamed. I mean, it would have been bad if it was bad, but yeah. My bad.
Cody Ware. What?
Yes. They shouldered.
Oh, the girlfriend.
Yes.
Well, it's still the under. So, anyway,
it's still won. I mean,
I get it. Cody Ware 37th, and Josh Berry he comes home 38th in very last place. It was something like 129, 130 laps, something like that down. It was pretty bad. But I mean, the fact that they got that car repaired enough to go out and turn the fastest lap of the race was pretty damn good. So, next week we are looking at, come on.
That's going to be kind of tough for you next week because we finally got football, NFL football coming in, and then you got NASCAR season.
Well, that's the beautiful thing I love about DirecTV. I can stream on one screen, and I can stream to my phone, and I can watch something else on my iPad, and I can pull something else up on my MacBook. So, next week we are looking at the Worldwide Technology Raceway up in Madison, Illinois. That is going to be the Enjoy Illinois 300. It's a 240 lap race. It's going to be for 300 miles. That is going to be Sunday on the 7th at 2:00 Central Time, 3:00 Eastern. That is going to be on USA. It's going to be on the Motor Racing Network, which is MRN, Sirius XM Channel 90 on your Sirius XM radio in your car or on your Sirius XM app. And then your driver feeds, again, are also going to be on HBO Max again. The round of 16 ends the following weekend on the 13th at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's a Saturday night race. So, yeah. The drivers, a lot of the title favorites this year had miserable days this weekend over in Darlington. So on the bright side, these next 2 tracks give them an opportunity to bounce back. Alex Bowman desperately needs it because as of right now, he's 16 of the 16th of the 16 drivers. Right now, Chase Briscoe, he's number 1 because by virtue of the win.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin is in second. Kyle Larson's in third. Tyler Reddick fourth. Bubba Wallace fifth. William Byron sixth. Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, Chase Elliott, and Shane Van Gisbergen round out your top 12. Now, everybody below the cutoff line, starting with 13th, is Joey Logano, Austin Dillon in 14th, Alex Bowman in 15th. So I was wrong. Alex Bowman's not last, but Josh Berry is last, and he's in 16th. But Alex Bowman and Josh Berry are both tied at 19 points below the cutoff line. They need to have stellar weekends between here and the cutoff race at Bristol by the end of the race at Bristol. They need to figure out a way to get a top 5 or get a win.
Yep.
If they have any hope of advancing.
Two last things.
Okay.
One, make it really quick. How many Super Bowls has Belichick won?
Super Bowls? 6.
I just check. TCU is like 27-7 in North Carolina. So
Beating North Carolina.
And this is a photo of Nicolas Cage on the set of the movie
Avengers Doomsday.
No.
Oh, he's gonna be playing John Madden. That's right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah.
If anything, just because it's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I was like, he should have got. I don't know. It's one of those things you got to wait until comes out. So let's wrap this up, Johnny.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap this up because like we've been here for over an hour. we try to avoid that at all costs for you guys. But without further ado, we will not send you out the door without word from our president.
There was once a pirate, wonderful pirate. He was a terror on the high seas and a demon in the sheets. A credit to lesbians everywhere, really, a great lesbian pirate. Her name was Bearded Clam. She really was wonderful. Anyway, as she used to say, as she plundered both booty and pussy, scissor me timbers.
Then with that, we send him out the door and you as well. You don't have to go home, people, but you cannot stay here, mostly because we're going to end the broadcast. But this has been Nerd Sports episode 227. Thank you so much for your time, the effort, and maybe your empathy, maybe sympathy. Either way, you've been indentured. You are now privy. I would say you're better off, but I'm biased. I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Ickerman.
I'm Colin Skelton.
And again, this has been Nerd Sports. Same time, same channel, same bat place, all that good stuff. We'll see you next week, everybody. Get out of here. Go away. Bye-bye. We don't want you here.